morning.
Please, you are welcome. I'm going to be your guide for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Your questions, your comments are welcome. We are the female dungeons here. We are the male dungeons. We are 2 cells or prisons. Then we see the gate of no return or the door of no return. Finally, to the governor's residence. Marcus Garvey said something, and I want to share with you. He said, and I quote, people without the knowledge of their past history, origins, and culture is like a tree without roots. Unquote. And you know, when they go to America, they are doing every effort that our history should not be taught in schools. If really it is true, it's time to we the Africans to tell our own history. For that matter, I welcome all of you back to Elimina slave dungeons. Thank you. All right, so this castle is called St. George's or Elimina Castle, built by the Portuguese in 1482. You know, they initially came here in 1471, and they were here for 3 reasons. 1, for political, economic, and religion. So when I come here, they brought some goods, like the guns, gunpowders, alcohol, textiles, just to mention a few. In addition of gold, ivory, the later spices. We call it barter trade or barter system. The major commodity they were interested in was the gold. And when they came here, they had a lot of gold from this area. With this simple reason, they named here Elimina. The word is Elimina, which means the mines. But the locals here could not pronounce the word Elimina, so it was changed into this word Elimina, which I'm very happy became the name of this very town. But one may ask me, don't we have a name before the European came here? Yes, they had a name. And the African name was called Anu Mansan, meaning inexhaustible water. Now they were led by one captain called Don Diego de Azambuja. He came here with 200 soldiers, including masons, artisans, and so forth. They decided building here as a fort, which eventually became a castle. To them, they said they want a place where they can keep their goods. So initially, all the rooms on the ground floor were their storerooms. But along the line, they changed their mind from the gold, the ivory, into human trade, or the evil trade. We say the evil trade because very evil to sell human beings. They're the same room where they converted as a dungeon. Now, just as the Portuguese were here, we have another European called the Dutch. You know, they are from Holland. They became more jealous by the profit the Portuguese were making here. So they attacked them 2 times from the civil session, but then they failed. So they came the 3rd time by the help of the local people. You see, the locals saw the Dutch to be a savior, and again they thought maybe they were better off than the Portuguese. So on 29th August 1637 precisely, the Dutch came back, and this time they succeeded. Surprisingly, when the Dutch came here, they were the whites. They also continued. So the Dutch were here at the time when the slave trade was abolished in 1807 in all the British colonies. But those here, they never stopped. They were doing it illegally. In 1814, the Dutch also came out and stopped the trade. Then later on, they sold this castle to the British in 1872. Why? Because the slave era has stopped. The gold is no more coming. But it does not mean British never took by the day. Those who took a greater portion. But then they used different castles called the Cape Coast castle. When the English came here, they used here as sub-administrative center. During the Second World War, they were meant for the whole of West Africa, except Liberia. Trained them here, sent them to Burma and India, used them as soldiers. So they fight for them. We call them Royal West African Frontier Force. And after the war, this same castle was used as a police training school in 1948. And the year the time we had my independence. That's 6th of March 1957. Now, 1441 was the first time ever they captured 10 people from Senegal and Gambia, somewhere in Guinea Coast. No, they were sent to Lisbon, Portugal, and they had reasons of taking these 10 people. One, they said they are going to train them to become interpreters. Again, to serve as a proof that they've been to Africa or Black Man's Land. However, when they got there, they never came back as promised, but then they were used as a slaves. Now, when the Spanish go to the Caribbean, when they started opening the tobacco farms, the sugarcane, the cotton, and the mining areas, initially they were using the native Indians or the Native Americans, but then they were dying. So there was a man called Bartolome de la Casa. He was a Catholic preacher. He said the only alternative is to try the Africans who are more stronger than the Red Indians. So in 1510, 1512, 50 Africans were sent to Haiti, and they proved physically strong. Since that time, no other European came going back without any slaves. And this marked the beginning or the genesis of the slave trade. Now, as you all know, the slave will not come from only Ghana, but the whole of Africa, like Burkina Faso, we have the Mali, Niger, Benin, Togo, Africa. When you go to northern part of Ghana today, we have a town called Tamale, we have Sandema, Damango, and Salaga. Now, Salaga in the north is where you have the biggest slave market in Ghana, then Gold Coast. So they say that we cut from Burkina Faso, Mali, they were brought there, and they drug and made a walk. From there, they moved down to the south of the coast. We have a village here called Asen Mansu. Today's a town, about an hour drive from here. They have a river there called the Slave River. That is where the slaves took their first in their land baths. At the bank of the river, they make sure they shave them. You know, they shave their heads, their armpits, and their private parts with broken bottles. They prepare them for markets. From there, they make sure they feed them, or they were fed, to get some strength. So from Asen Mansu to the dungeons. Now over here, they had a trading hall, or the slave market, I'll show you later. They were first sent there. After the transactions, they had to make sure they were branded. You know, they inserted metals in the fire. And when they get heated, they stand there with hot irons. Down their foreheads, on the chest, and shoulder of the back for easily identification. Then after the branding, they separate them. We are all the women over here, while the men were held about 80 meters from here. That they were here for about 3 months. See how we are sorting to the 3 months in this dungeon. So the 3 months, they moved them to the final door or the gate of no return. Now, at the point in time, this castle can hold a minimum of 1,000 slaves. That's the minimum, excluding children. Yeah, that's the minimum. The men were 600 and the women 400. So the castle, as it stands today, is 541 years old. I repeat, 541 years. They're the biggest, the largest, and the oldest, not only in Ghana, but the whole of tropical Africa, Africa south of Sahara. I'll pause here. If you have any questions, we'll see it. We had about 150 women. 150 women were here for 3 good months. The same treatment. And I earlier said they were here for about 3 months. And we all know women every month, they have a special time. But then they don't shower that, they don't bath. So you can imagine the floor. And the first is dry today some years back, and I had a menstrual bad here, vomit, everything. So when you come early in the morning, the stench of the smell, it's in the dangers. Due to infection, the diseases, most of them died over here. And when they died, they don't bury them. But then they were chained together, put them in a sack, tied it, sent all the bodies into the sea. And from here to the destination, you know, we have sharks following the ships, the sharks. So anytime they drop the dead body, they swallow them. Okay. So they keep on, the sharks keep on following the ships so they get their final destinations. And one may ask, if the idea is to make profit, why are they not treated well? There are reasons for doing it, about 2 or 3 reasons. One, when they bought a slave, they insure the insurance. So after when he died, they get a replacement. 2, they want the strong people who can work on the plantations. So they are thinking that through some text, the survivor of the fittest. And finally, this when they feed them well, they will grow bigger and stronger, and they will try to revolt or to fight back. So they want to keep them weak so that they can control them. And being in your own visit for 3 months as a woman going to have your flows, you are not more a human being again. It's like they have break them down, spiritually, mentally, and everything. Can I ask our ladies today, for we them, we don't care. We can be in one shirt for more than a week, we don't care. But the women, just from here, they have to change their dresses and everything. So you can be in the shoes of our ancestors, being here for 3 months, dance, shower, and everything. So it's very terrible. But then people talk about the Holocaust. Personally, I don't get it as an African. The Holocaust is about 6 million people. I think we all know about the Holocaust. The figure is up to 6 million. You know, they have massaged the figure to be 6 million. But they pay compensation every year. And the Holocaust is nowhere close to the slave, it's nowhere near at all. But this guy alone, 7 million slaves went to this guy alone for 400 years. 7 million went to this guy alone for 400 years. And Ghana alone, there are more than 50 of these structures. We Ghana more than 50 foreign casters. So multiply 7 million and 50 foreign casters and 400, you put this a lot. But they keep on glorifying the Holocaust. And it confused with the Africans. With the slavery, no compensation, no apology, no reparation. But then they keep on glorifying the Holocaust. So it's the story behind this. Okay, so let's go to the next again.
Holocaust.
Whenever it rains, they harvest the water or they trap the water to fill the tube for drinking, washing, everything. When full, it contains 20,000 gallons of water. God, they go area here. But when the Dutch came here, because of fear, the Dutch never used this water. They thought maybe Portuguese might have poisoned the water. So they went outside and built a different one. But research proved that this water is a clean water. And today it's from mosquitoes. So to avoid malaria, let me close quickly, just to avoid malaria. And again, when the Europeans came here, you see something doesn't happen over here. They never brought their wives. So it's with them who came here. But that they succeeded raping our ladies. The women were sexually abused. The governors, the soldiers, the prince, the merchant. So afterward, the governors back on it. He will stand there all day, then they brought all the women outside. Then he made a choice. The chosen one, they have to wash them first. So the fresh water from here, they clean them. The water which they thought could have been poisoned is not good for the woman. After the cleaning, she was fed in the gardener's quarters. Let's see the place. So, as I was saying, with the staircase, it was then to meet the gardener and come there. You know, after the act, you will not stay there, you have to come back. As you were deciding that the soldiers at times took advantage. They also lay hands on them, and they used them till they died. Now, when the ships arrived, they examined the women, they screened them. You know, some got pregnant. Those who were detected early were not taken away. But then they were sent to the town or the village, and they built houses for them. They were living there. When they delivered, they brought the women back to the dungeons. You are still a slave. So, then the babies at the age of 5-6 years, they were taken through formal education. And they had the light color skins. People refer them as the mulattoes or the missionaries. And they bear their master's names. So their names are Vieira, De Heerd, De Souza, Van der Poel, Van Dijk, Robertson, just to mention a few. I know most of the women and these children, you know, they feel more superior. Actually, they are brainwashed. So they look down upon Africans. And this brought the student among Africa come to divide and rule or divide and conquer. But if you're a woman, you refuse to accept your master's offer, those who resisted, they make sure they punish them. So if a woman like governor saying, I like you, for the thing, you say no, meaning you are difficult, you need to be punished. So let's then 20 minutes outside again. We go there later, don't worry. So don't outside again for the talk. Okay. So as I wanted to, do you want to try? Oh, come on, step forward. Come on, step forward. Okay, just get with the tray. I like the floor. Can I help you with the back? But I guess I did this one, right? And you get this one. You can imagine women who are here for 3 months and not eating, drinking, He was the only person who survived. Then Newton became a clergy. They started to speak against the slave trade. And some people say, Newton, you are a hypocrite. Once upon a time, you were a slave master. Once I changed the narrative today, and Newton replied, I was blind, but now I can see. So finally, this way they all went through, did a narrow gate called the gate of no return for both female and male. In those days, the sea was very close, but now it receded. So the big vessel with just some and a small boat was brought here, carries them to the bigger ships. Then they were packed or arranged on there side by side like boots on ships. During the middle passage, the soldiers started raping the women while the men are being tortured. And when they died, they tossed them overboard. Few that survived the death sent the to Guyana, Suriname, Haiti, Portuguese to Brazil, while the English to Caribbean, West Indies, and they all scattered all over the world. Initially, when we were trading gold, ivory, spices, the gate was bigger than this, from our right here to the last end. Then when the slave trade started, they narrowed the gate as you can see today. And saying the nature of the gate or the size, one may ask me, does it mean tall, fat Africans was not brought here? They were. Are you being there for 1, 2, 3 months? You reduce your weight. You grow lean or skinny, so you fit in. Today, when you go to Cape Coast Castle, the gate over there is bigger than this one, and they named the Gate of Return. You know, 1998, they had a ceremony in Ghana here called Emancipation Day, or the Freedom Day. Under the 2 dead bodies were exhumed, one from Jamaica and one from New York, a male and a female. They flew the 2 bodies to Accra. From Accra, they came through the sea, and the 2 bodies was brought to Cape Coast Castle. When they got there, they enlined the gates, so they brought the bodies in. They prayed for them and were reburied. This is very symbolic that the gate of no return had a reverse to the gate of return, inviting Africans all over the world back to Africa, but not through the gate to the true Ghana, as Ghana is the gateway to Africa. So when you go, the gateway is bigger than this one. And again, every 2 years, we don't have a festival in Ghana called the Pan-Africa. Pan-Africa Historical Theatre Festival, to bring all Africa together as one family. During the celebration, people like you, when they visit the dungeons, some need the drinks, some need drinks, water, calabar, nectar, bees, just to mention a few. To honor our people, those who died and those who survived the dungeons, as C.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King Jr., just to mention a few. And I can see on your side, you guys are made in Ghana goods, right? Yeah. For that matter, let's highlight on the drinks. You know, before the European came to Africa, we all know it. That we have a religion which we practice called the traditional African religion. And Africans believe in nature. Talk about the sun, the sea, the river, the stone, the trees. And Africans believe that there are spirits behind those rivers and the stones. So anytime they want to speak to the Creator, they speak through those things. And how do they do it? In those days, they call libation. And then they use calabash and palm wine. Then every morning they go to the riverside or the stone, they invoke the spirit. They do it on the day the person was born, but not the date, but the day the person was born. You call it your soul day. That is why your soul is very close to you. So every morning they go there with the calabash and the palm wine there, they invoke the spirit. You don't put on shoes or sandals as a sign of respect to the gods. This way believe and this way practicing. And again, African believe that God is a man and the earth is a female. So when it comes to Ghana, here there comes called God Kwame Tradianko. Kwame means the God of them was born Saturday. They call the earth as Asiya, and the earth was born Thursday. So they threw the palm wine to the spring God fire before they pour to the ground or the floor. This way believe in, this way practicing before the arrival of the foreigners. So when the European came with the Bible, with the Christianity, they said, come on, Africa, do away with your religion and accept the Christianity. Then gradually, our religion started fading out or changing. And today, when it comes to Ghana here, about 70% of total population are Christians, and 30% are Muslims. But the rest, I don't know where they fall. So our friends from diaspora, anytime they are visiting the castle, they come with their own shrines, calabash, everything for libation. So if people tell you that we don't have religion before they are with the foreigners, it's a lie. We know how to worship our God. Our great fathers understand God more than the two of us. But today, because of anytime they have a festival, so no, this fetish, blah blah blah, you not participate. So I'm happy in your church. I can see Made in Ghana goes. So let's love our own thing, Made in Ghana. From here, we are going back to the same way we came here. And together we all say, never again. So never again. When the English came here, was used as a prison for one of the famous Ashanti kings, called Grandpa the First. Nana Akwasi and Grandpa the First became king 1888, at the age of 16, very young guy. Then he made a treaty signed by his predecessors that every year he had to pay them some gold. The king paid up and paid the rest installments. And they didn't go down with the British. So they went to Kumasi, the king was captured. The father, the mother, and some royal members. They were kept for 4 years. They still ruled for 4 years.
4 years?
4 good years. After 4 years, they were sent to Freight and Salarium for 1 year, making 5 years. From Salarium to Seychelles Island for 23 more years. So now 28 years in exile. He came out to Ghana in 1924, and 7 years later, he died at the age of 59. And they built a house for him to bring to Kumasi called Prempers Museum. Yeah. It didn't end there. They went to Kumasi again for the boarding school, which we all know was conducted from the sky by one man called Confanosi. You know, the boarding school was supposed to unite all the Chinese kingdom. They went to Kumasi and a replica was given to the British. When they go to Britain, they say, come on, we are deceived, we have been deceived by the Ashantis. So they came out to Kumasi again. At that time, the men were cowards. So all the men ran away. And the woman said, if our men are not ready to fight, then we ladies will protect our heritage. So they were led by one old lady called Yak Santua, the queen of Egypt. She led the war at the age of 60 years. And again, she was captured, 60 years, 60. The age of 60 years. Again, she was arrested, imprisoned in the first room for 1 year. And from there to Seychelles, she never came back. She died in exile. About 34 years ago, the remains were brought to Ghana, and she was buried in Jesu Kumasi. So we are going to be remembered. To the one who is the Ashanti communities in the Seychelles, which they are only fed by the speak Yana Chief here.
Yeah, so I learned
Utumfo were there last year. Yeah. Every year they go there, and every year they also come here and fall like this in these 2 rooms.
Okay.
For the ancestors.
But when it flow like this?
No, they don't have enough.
Okay.
They don't have enough.